Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Aquarius February 25, 2025. You could get the chance to strengthen relationships with coworkers or with yourself and your attitudes towards work now. Instead, you might discover more efficient or otherwise improved ways of approaching your work. Today is strong for enthusiasm and motivation. Also today, Mars turns direct after over 2 months of retrograde motion. Mind you, this retrograde period has likely been useful for redirecting you along better paths. In the weeks ahead, career matters can improve, whether this has to do with conditions, clarity, or confidence in your work and your broader goals. Blocks lift, and you are working more on your own terms. Where there was emotional distance or complication in business recently, there is now more directness. There should be a stronger sense of direction and more time spent on moving things forward as you advance. Your best bet now is to avoid seeking instant results. Ease into this new phase. Life was filled with thorns and frustrations, but you're singing a whole new tune. This is because mighty Mars, the red planet of passion and energy, has returned to life in your solar house of achievement. On the one hand, this could shift your priorities away from your personal and romantic life significantly and make it harder for singles to meet someone new if they're constantly on the grind. Couples may feel friction, too, if you're burning the candle at both ends but not making quality, intimate time. Be sure you have your cap on right as you venture into this newfound period. A conversation may inspire you to get a move on. It is time to consider where your professional future is heading once Mercury in Pisces trines Mars retrograde in Cancer. The watery energy is empathetic and action-oriented. You could receive sympathy over your work life while still receiving a much-needed push to move forward. Luckily, your motivation to advance in your career path will return later today, because Mars will station direct in Cancer. Picking yourself and your career path up by the bootstraps might be easier than you anticipated. Knowing the right thing to do for your home will be easy today. If your kitchen needs a paint job, plan it for an upcoming weekend. If your knives need to be sharpened so that you enjoy cooking more, knives sharpened? Go ahead and get to it. It's important to improve the quality of kitchen life in your home. Whatever it means to you, the heart of your home is the kitchen, because without nourishment we would not be here. This might be the perfect day for you to go out and try something completely new. Today you're sure to be feeling far more receptive to trying things. The atmosphere will be light and cheerful, giving you the break from life's serious matters you probably need. Perhaps you could make some arrangements to go out with some friends or your special partner to make the occasion even more enjoyable. It is just as the Sun and Mercury are settling into their first weekend in your work sector and 7 days before Venus is due to turn retrograde and start heading back, Mars has reached his last full day in retrograde motion in your career sector. It is Mars' direct turn tomorrow that will take the brakes off this professional year, and with Neptune, the planet of hopes and dreams, who has been in your work sector since 2012 leaving at the end of next month, bringing you to the point where everything will start coming together. Until then, there is a chance today to pause. Just as Venus, planet of love, moves into her final end days in your relationship sector, the moon not only leaves your communication sector, but just as Juno, the queen of commitment, is settling into her first weekend here. While the moon connected with both over the last few days, making it easier to give your emotional responses and relationships a voice, over the coming weeks Venus and Juno are set to become a tight unit. Our eyes in the sky. After what may have felt like an endless struggle, a time filled with hesitation, emotional exhaustion, and a sense of being stuck in a loop, Mars stations direct in Cancer today, marking the end of its retrograde journey. This shift is like the first rays of sunlight breaking through after a long, stormy night. If you've been feeling drained, uncertain, or caught in cycles of doubt and second-guessing, you might now begin to sense a shift in your energy, a return to a state of clarity and determination. It's as if the fog has lifted, and the path ahead, though still requiring effort, now feels more attainable and less overwhelming. Have you ever woken up one day and suddenly felt a renewed sense of control over your life, as if something just clicked into place? That's the kind of energy today brings: a fresh start, a new rhythm, and a realization that progress is not only possible but already beginning to take shape. It's the moment where you stop looking backward and instead focus on what's next with a sense of purpose. Tasks that once felt tedious or insurmountable may now seem manageable, and your ability to set boundaries and express your needs could feel more natural. If you've been holding back emotions, particularly frustration or unresolved tension, Mars direct encourages you to acknowledge and release them in a healthy, constructive way. It's not about acting impulsively but about giving yourself permission to process these feelings and move forward without carrying unnecessary weight. Have you ever been surprised by how much lighter you feel after simply expressing what's been on your mind? Today offers that kind of relief. It's also important to take a moment to reflect on what you've learned during the retrograde period. Instead of rushing ahead, ask yourself, what patterns have emerged in your relationships, career, or personal growth? What lessons have you encountered that you may not have fully processed yet? Sometimes, our greatest insights come not in the midst of struggle but in the moments just after, when we finally have the perspective to see how far we've come. Now is the time to integrate those lessons and let them shape your next steps. With Mars gaining momentum, you might start viewing the world through a clearer lens. The things that once felt confusing or out of reach could suddenly begin to make sense, and decision-making becomes more intuitive. If you've experienced moments of doubt recently, trust that the clarity you've been seeking is now within reach. Have you ever had a moment where everything seemed to align, and you just knew what you needed to do? That kind of realization is more likely to happen now, especially if you remain open to new insights. This is also a time to share what you've learned with those around you, whether through meaningful conversations, creative expression, or simply being more open about your experiences. The things you've gone through, your challenges, your growth, your discoveries could be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. Have you ever noticed how sharing your story can inspire or bring clarity to someone else? Your words and experiences hold power, and today is a great day to use them for connection and understanding. As your energy starts to increase, remember that balance is key. When Mars shifts, it can feel like an internal fire reigniting, but that doesn't mean you have to sprint forward without rest. Take care of yourself. Pay attention to your physical and mental well-being. Are there any habits that no longer serve you? This is an ideal moment to make small but impactful changes, adjusting your daily routine, being mindful of your nutrition, or carving out time for self-care. Even simple acts like spending time in nature, moving your body, or drinking more water can significantly improve your overall well-being. Communication also takes on a more powerful role today. You may find it easier to express your thoughts with confidence, and others are more receptive to your ideas. If you've been avoiding a difficult conversation, now is a good time to address it with honesty and clarity. Have you ever had someone unexpectedly seek your advice, and in the process of helping them, you realized just how much you've grown yourself? Today presents opportunities for those kinds of exchanges, where supporting others can also reinforce your own understanding of your journey. Intellectually, you might feel sharper and more engaged, making it a great time for problem solving, learning, or diving into discussions that challenge and expand your thinking. You may feel a renewed curiosity, a desire to explore new perspectives, or even take the lead in conversations. If you've been contemplating a new project or considering an opportunity, trust that you have the insight and determination to see it through. Leadership, however, isn't just about pushing forward, it's also about listening. Have you ever been in a conversation where a simple shift in perspective changed everything? That kind of breakthrough energy is present today, so be open to collaboration and new ideas.